I think you may win at cutting it close.
I heard the noise.
I know, but it's just so great. Like you're the only other person I know that would be like, okay, I've got the 2-minute countdown on. This is a good time to go like get water, brush my teeth, whatever it is you like hopped off to do. I was like looking forward to you like having tripped on the way back, got stuck in a closet, whatever, couldn't be here. And I was like going to just do the opening monologue without you. But then you made it just in literally people with like 2 seconds to spare.
He can see me like, well, did you see I still had like foundation?
Yeah, I did. I saw you were like, you're doing like, I thought you were brushing your teeth because of the McGriddle, which need to hear
I just
about.
discovered last week.
Jeez, oh my gosh.
Okay, I was telling Tim this before. First of all, hi everybody. Good morning. I don't know where the lid to my foundation that I was putting on went.
Okay, what the heck is foundation? I'm sorry, but I've been.
No, that's okay. That's a fair question. Here, I'll show you. I got this from my little Ipsy bag, which is like a little pretend.
Like I understand. I see.
It pretend like it sends little like samples. Anyway, foundation is just like a color. It covers up the fact that like when I get sick, I get little like sores down here. Yeah. And so I was trying to cover it up.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. Okay, there's a lot here that we're just not going to dive into. We're not going to dive into that, but okay, it just is like it's just stuff you put on your face, right?
Yeah, it's just makeup.
It's
just stuff that you do when you get like different colors on your face and you want it to look more like the same color.
Okay. Cool. So you got that. It gets on your teeth.
And I discovered sausage McGriddles.
Yes. Okay.
For the first time last week.
Wait, okay.
I've never had one.
All right. If you've had a McGriddle, if you're in the comments and you've had a McGriddle, can you please send us in McGriddle comments?
I know, like, Megan. I feel like
we need to not just like roll on like you're bringing up McGriddles. Like this
Stop. You need to see the comment that someone. Okay, this is a new person. I can see who it is on our LinkedIn. I'm so sorry.
You're professional.
Professional is not this show. You will learn a lot here. We have a lot of fun.
I promise the best is to come when it comes to learning about gems.
But professional is just not the word I would use to describe me ever. Certainly not this show.
That's true. Well, no, I don't know. I mean, we will definitely dive into
we're professional when we need to, content. But like
sure, yeah. But that's I would say, AI for Anyone Live is more about like we ease into the professional, right? Yeah. But thank you for commenting.
Yes, and it's your average person that can do the stuff we're doing on this show. That's what's kind of fun about it. And it's
okay, so McGriddles. McGriddles, so if you've had a McGriddle in your life, please let us know about that. And if they are worth a mention. So that's true. Look, Karen, this is not new walk-on music, and I'm so glad you brought up the music. I found this music in 2022, and I wanted to have just kind of like a sound bug. And I worked with Giancarlo. He had found a couple of songs. But this song, it makes me happy every time I hear it. And I've been hearing it for a long time. Thank you, Micah. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I was wondering if there are bacon McGriddles because I've not myself had a McGriddle, and I am with Micah on this one. I would definitely go for the bacon over sausage.
Well, so that's completely fair. I just think it's hilarious that so here's what I love about them. The bacon versus sausage, I actually don't care. It is the little like syrup chips in the it's like a pancake bun. Like the bun's like a pancake and there's little syrup chips in it. That's what changed my life. That's it.
Wait, syrup chips? Are you saying syrup chips?
Yeah. Look, you know how it looks kind of like chocolate chips? That's like little syrup bits. This is the bun.
Okay.
McDonald's, go ahead and sponsor us.
Yes. So, I did not think we were going to launch Gems by talking about foundation and McGriddles. And here we are. This is the grab bag. If you watch us, you do not know what you're going to get. I will tell you that.
Luckily, it only is like the first 5 minutes, so we talk about completely random. And then we focus in a bit.
Yeah, right, maybe. All right, so cool. And yes, shout out to Giancarlo. But I picked that music. I like that music. I like use it as much as I can with our stuff because I don't know, it's happy. So
can you because we talk about Giancarlo, like every other episode, I feel like his name comes up.
Yeah.
I would love for you to just give people like the quick brief overview of like who Giancarlo is to the human stack, because if it weren't for him, like this organization would not be what it is today.
Gosh. Yes, absolutely.
And he's such an unsung hero of any organization I feel like he works with. So I just wanted to give you a chance to like give him some shout outs.
Giancarlo joined the human stack before it's the human stack. I'm hearing an echo. Are you hearing that as well?
I will go on mute and I'm going to hear on this side and see.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good. Giancarlo joined the former company that I was working with, a consulting company called Now It Matters, as our marketing director. He came on with a 2-week tryout, which is how we onboarded everybody. And it was for a part-time position. And at the end of the 2 weeks, he said, you actually need a full-time position. Here's why, laid out everything. And so we brought him on full-time. And that is a great way of understanding who Giancarlo is. He mostly hangs out in the background. He doesn't like to be the front man out there, but he worked so hard to bring the brand of the human stack forward and to make it what it is. He also he did consulting client side. He was our marketing director, our brand director. So he's now working with Mallory Erickson at Practivated. That was a very good negotiated transition. I am so happy that he's there. Yes. I'm sad that he's not here because I miss working with him, but he is killing it over there, doing a great job. He is really, really great. And I mean, anybody that gets to work with Mallory Erickson is, is lucky, and anyone that gets to work with Giancarlo is lucky. So it's very good. So yeah,
you know what I found out at Practivated? Well, one, we should definitely talk to Mallory and see if we get Mallory and Giancarlo on.
Mallory's going to be in Billings, Montana on Thursday, and I told her, so she's speaking in Montana.
Maybe we'll do our own little.
I told her I was going to pick her up from the airport with a horse, but it's a joke. I'm not going to. Don't tell her.
No comments. No comments. Okay. I think we should. Oh, I was gonna say we should have them. I love the idea of like Giancarlo because of his sort of like origin story. But then I also found out that one of my former coworkers from my days in Ohio, who like we were cube mates, we were in the same cubicle. And as you can imagine, like being in a cubicle with me is a trip. And she is so much more like calm and collected. And so we balance each other very well. But she's the like director of customer support there, or customer service.
Where?
Or client service at Practivated.
Oh, also, that's amazing.
She commented on something that like Mallory and I were commenting on LinkedIn. She's like, wait, this is a small world. That's like the third time it's happened with Charlotte and I specifically.
Okay.
So I absolutely
I feel like that happens with you all the time. I just feel like that happens all the time. I forgot one major element of the story of Giancarlo, because actually in 2014, we got hired to go in and do some work with ASPCA in San Francisco. Okay. And when we did the analysis on the work, we said, you shouldn't hire us. You should empower this person working in your organization to go do guidance. It was guidance before we had like figured it out. And we said, empower this person. You're going to get much further. You don't have the budget for us anyway. And that person was Giancarlo. They did that. He remembered that. It was very different than every other pitch they got, obviously. And they did empower him. He's amazing at technology, at Salesforce, all of that work. And so when he was looking for his next thing, he looked us up and he said, you're the kind of company I wanted to join. So that's full circle moment there. Yeah, no, it's really great. It's really great. So
I feel like I like slowly walk in Giancarlo's footsteps, like just little by little.
You know what? It is a little bit true. Yeah, you're doing. Yes. That's a little
if bit only true. I could fill those shoes. Thankfully, I can take the loud part that he likes to shy away from. So it's perfect.
A couple of things on that to dive into gems. A couple of things on that.
I was like, let's get into it. We've probably bothered people enough with chaos.
One is that this technology stuff is surprisingly rife with relationship connections. And I feel like people don't realize how interconnected the tech space is. And that's not just the nonprofit side, that's just tech in general. So, so yeah. And then the second thing is tech is always moving. And for a long time, we've been saying gems will be shareable at some point in the future. We don't know when they're going to turn it on. A month ago, I saw that there is actually a feature as one of the admin options to allow gem sharing. So we've known that it was coming out, and then last week they turned it on, last Friday or something like that.
Yes.
And so you can now share gems. The implications of this are really large, really large. And so we want to talk through some of what those implications are. We're going to run some research, build a gem, and then show you how to share it. And the way that they've done sharing is actually pretty ingenious. I'm really excited about it. So let's get into it.
Yeah, and I do want to, I'm going to share my screen here, and I put on the screen as well where we find, I mean, so Tim and I, luckily the stuff typically will find us before we have to see it on a blog. But I do want folks to know that if you're using Gemini and you're looking for a way to sort of like keep up on some of this, this is the site to bookmark. It's just gemini.google/release-notes. And I did put that, like I said, I put that in the QR code up here. But this is where you can see some of the bigger ones. There's another one that Tim and I get to our emails that sort of give us like the daily updates on like Google Workspace and its relevancy to Gemini. This is the one that's like very simple, right? Like the what and the why. And I love that about this. So I would say for anyone just joining us, wondering like how we keep up on this, this is the like key. I just wanted to show this to everybody and give them a chance to check it out. See that like you don't have to just be. Oh, is that you? I thought there was a dog in my apartment.
No, oh my gosh. It's our dog. Hold on one second.
Oh my gosh, it just scared me. I was like, my dogs don't sound like that. Who is here?
No. That's on our end.
That's okay. We all love dogs, right? We're all working in the spaces that we can. But I just wanted folks to know that like this isn't some like secret society we belong to where we get to know all these things. Like we stay up to date. And yes, we are lucky that our communities sort of give us the heads up. Like when this released, I think it was Dan that shared it right to us in our Slack group, like you, me, and him. Of course, it's great to have that. But even if you don't, there's no secret sauce. You just follow some of these things, pick one or two, stay up to date on those. The rest of them,
I follow people who tell me about this. And so it is. If you we'll be your people if you don't have others. If you do have others, great. The ones I always recommend are Dan Kershaw, Nate B. Jones, and Sabrina Romanov. Like those, those are who I'm getting a lot of my feeds from. So
and I've got most people actually who are here are probably from your LinkedIn. And so, but if you're seeing it on my random Facebook ones, which I think is hilarious that we still put it up there. And then our YouTube or after the fact, Tim's LinkedIn is up there in the corner QR code up here. And maybe the next weeks we'll share like Nate B. Jones and some of that stuff. I
put that as soon as Dan sent it. Hi, Dan. As soon as Dan sent that, I put out a LinkedIn post about that and just said, this is huge. Like so many industry leaders picked that up and started resharing it. Eric Arnold, for example, who's like was the nonprofit CTO.
I don't know who that is. Yeah.
So a long time regular in the space, very like for the tech for social impact team of Microsoft, he was essentially the technical architect. So he's just like, he's in the scene. He knows what's happening. So that was it. I'm just saying this is one of those industry moments where the ability to do this kind of sharing is a watershed moment. Kind of like, I mean, as big as when custom GPTs came out, right? So
yes, absolutely. This is me just creeping around here now.
Good. You're gonna love. You're gonna like Nate Megan. Yeah, I'm glad you're subscribed to him.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, so
I pay a lot of money not a lot of money, but a lot of money to subscribe to Nate, and it's been worth every penny for the first like 2 blogs that I got from it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about custom or sharing our gems. So for those of you that haven't joined us before, we have done a couple episodes on custom gems. And after last week's episode, while we will have a few episodes here and there that sort of go over other things, we are going to stick to Gemini for the most part. I want people to know that because there will be times where we're essentially going over things that we've probably done before, either in a new way or showing folks how we've done it before because we've got new subscribers. And the reason we go through Gemini, and I will continue to say this, is because Gemini is the most accessible for nonprofits to enable across their organization. And Tim, I will have to Project Camp, the organization that we've worked with previously and that I continue to work with through us, is they're a pretty like anti-AI organization because they're camp. They pop up day camps for natural disasters. They're an emergency response organization first and foremost. And they have concerns about IP and security, but then also just like it not being as good, right? And so yesterday I actually was speaking to their executive director, and you would love this because he was like, this is why we need to do it, isn't it? Like, it's because of the fact that if you pay that extra, it's like $4 a month per user per month, which is 75% off what it usually is. And all you have to do is be a nonprofit, like be accepted as the Google for Nonprofits piece, and everything bumps up to SOC 2 compliance. Now, Tim, I've had a lot of people ask me, what is SOC 2 compliance? Can you give like a
No, the free version is SOC 2 compliant.
Is it?
Yes.
I was not operating under that assumption.
No, it is. It is. And yes, and I would be glad to explain this. So
yes, please do.
When people ask about data security and data privacy, here's what to understand with AI. It is not about which model you choose. It's not whether it's Claude or Gemini or OpenAI or ChatGPT, right? It's not which one of those. It's how much you pay for them.
That's what I thought.
That's the thing, okay? And so everything in software breaks down to either consumer, which is when individuals buy it, or commercial, which is when organizations buy it. And in order to get into the commercial or enterprise, they'll use the same language, to get into the commercial side of both Claude and ChatGPT, you have to get into team versions, which are pretty spendy per person per month. You're talking $30+ per month per user to get into the commercial side. And that is where they guarantee SOC compliance. They guarantee GDPR compliance. All of these, if you go to the system cards of these different, all of the different platforms out there, it's not until you get to the commercial side that they guarantee all of this stuff. Gemini, though, if you're in workspace, you are in the commercial area of that. And when they give you business standard for nonprofits, that is already SOC 2 compliant, even if you're not paying for it. Right.
But so, I don't think we'll have to look into this, and maybe I apologize for having this conversation without being a little more prepared. Apparently, I was operating under the assumption that you had to be that one level up to be in actual Google Workspace.
No. This is what's amazing about it. You're in business standard for nonprofits. So if you Google business standards, nonprofit, Gemini, whatever, you are in a workspace, and your workspace is SOC 2 compliant at the free level. Yes. So it's really important to understand.
I was always under the impression it had to be that one level up, which is still crazy cheap for what it's worth.
Yes,
but
exactly. It is. But here's what they turned off. What they turned on is business standard for everybody. What they turned off is your ability to turn it on for some people and off for others. So, for example, say that I have Ultra because I'm really cool, and you are part of my workspace and you're not as cool, so you have Pro. That's possible. I mean, hypothetically. Wait, which one do you have? I have Ultra. Which one do you have? Is it Pro? Yeah.
Everybody cover your eyes.
This morning, behind the scenes, Sami was like, "Oh, I've got Ultra too because you have it." And I was like, "Oh, please go check," knowing she only has Pro. Boom, boom. So that's possible because I can choose to turn that feature on for some people and not others. That is what you give up when you do the nonprofit business standard. You can't upgrade one off. So if you've got 30 people, then that means that you have to upgrade everybody to that $4 per month pricing for everybody. You can't just do it for one person. So for organizations, and I've got an organization in this situation, organizations that have like 600 email addresses because they're working with volunteers and students, and they've used the workspace that way. That means that they would have to pay $4 for 600 people, right? Which is a huge barrier. So pluses and minuses, but the SOC 2 compliance, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Out of the box, free. Like, nope, they don't need to pay for that.
Okay, well, while I ask people to describe what SOC 2 compliance is, because funny enough, that was actually what started this conversation, and you never did actually explain
that. Back in the early 80s when we started this conversation. Yeah.
Oh God. Assume I am not smart enough to know that. Jesus. Whatever that just gave me, I have no desire to read. I'm gonna be completely honest.
MNLM.
What?
I don't know. I'm like, we are.
You're talking about Karen.
Yeah.
So Karen was commenting. No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Not at all. Karen was commenting. She said that something was super restrictive for even mature organizations. I was trying to understand what she was like referencing, because timing wise, I don't ever know if it's like some of the stuff we were saying at the beginning. What she was referencing was that $30, like the Claude or the ChatGPT, like the OpenAI. $4 at 600 people is already a lot. Yep. $30 a month at 600 people,
yeah,
she said, is absolutely restrictive.
Right.
So yes, I completely agree. One other thing that you didn't mention that I know you get when you're in that upgraded version is the ability to then monitor and sort of guide the chats across your organization. So when someone leaves and you have the free version, you don't necessarily get what they've been using Gemini for. It all saves to like anything they build and they save to the drive can save to your drive. Absolutely. But you don't get like their chat history or their gems they've created. Like that does go away, even though it was built on your org, because it's not part of that paid version.
Is that true? Wow. Awesome, okay. I did not know about that. That's really good to know.
Because that's what we were talking about with Project Camp, was why upgrading is helpful is people are going to use it anyway. How do we make sure that it is used in our infrastructure so it's secure, right? Back to the security piece. But then also, if somebody were to leave, how do we utilize, like, how do we make sure we're not losing multiple people at once, which is what it feels like, because of the fact that they're using it, which is exactly what we've been talking about for months, right?
Yep.
So anyway.
Okay, yeah, that's really helpful. But Gemini should be the end of shadow AI usage.
Yes, in organizations.
Because, like all things being equal, dive in. And even if you're in Microsoft, right? Who cares? Like just dive in, get Gemini as part of your workspace. And if you just use it for that, fine. That's great. Right. So.
Yeah, I think we owe people next week. I'm going to do some analysis on it won't be for the episode next week, but maybe I'll do it for like our 25th episode. Okay. JK, that would be next week. That's crazy. I would like to do like a resource hub, like all the things we talk about in our AI for Anyone lives, like sort of like it would be under the human stack, of course, because that's what we're hosting on, but like its own little, like, here's the things we talk about. We reference this.
No, I love that idea and have been wanting to do that. So yeah, let's make that happen. Yeah. We'll just create a big long pillar page where we can just throw in everything that we want to. So if those of you listening, can you throw us the idea, what questions would you want us to answer on that? What resources do you want? Here's a couple that we can for sure do. I'm going to show you the prompt enhancer, the structured prompt enhancer. Like we're going to make that and share that today.
Actually. Yeah.
And then the worksheet that we gave out at the fundraising AI with Dan, the Minds Blown worksheet with all of the deep research prompts that Dan has been working on for a long time and some of the layouts for that. Glad to give that away as well. And so those are just two ideas. If you have others, please let us know. And then for just teasing out some of the future episodes here, I've been playing around in Opal, and it is like very powerful, and I'm getting my head around how to do that. And Opal is shareable as well. So you can create those and you can distribute those in your organization and beyond. Notebook LM is still only shareable within an organization. I actually think they should not change that. Don't kill me for this. But the reason for that is that is so source. Like, it's so much of that is about internal sourcing.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, but
I do. I hear both sides of that. But
things to pull. Yeah.
But the reason that Gemini is so different is that you don't worry about all of the sharing that you worry about with everything else. And this is actually, if they just opened that up to sharing, you would be looking at pretty serious data sharing and data privacy issues, right? So
yeah.
Anyway, there you go.
Karen made a good comment. Another one that we'll make sure to put on there. Not only do we have under the human stack with our work with the One Valley Community Foundation some policy examples and some of that stuff, we'll also share anything that's on the Fundraising AI website. I know we talk about it a lot. We'll share a direct link over to it, but we might as well put that stuff on there. So you've got a few different avenues. Amazing. Okay. I want to show everybody, because we learned from, wait, Megan's got a question here. First of all, I heard it's so silly to ask, and I didn't read the rest of it. I put it up because I'm like, there's no way this is silly. I love that. She can't keep her Gemini organized. She can't delete. I can't delete crap I don't need in there. Other stuff is really gems and massively excellent prompts, which I'm going to be finding on Nate's Substack too. Interesting. So that is a good thing to sort of like
Megan explore. Is all of us. Like, all of us are struggling with that. It's just like these tendrils of just whatever. It's just like out there everywhere. Yes.
You know what I would do for now, Megan? I would pin the ones that are relevant and wait for, because they're going to come out with the ability to folder these.
I've got clues on how they're going to do that, because the way that you share gems is that it literally creates a folder that you can put those in. And the way that you share opals is opals. The way you share opals and opal. I don't know the language for this.
We should call them gems.
What?
Because an opal is a gem. Never mind.
Oh,
it's all making a lot more sense to me.
Yes. Like that connection. Did you see that land for me? I was like, oh yeah. Okay. Anyway, that is all shareable within Drive as a file. That is like, this is why I like what Google is doing, is that they're thinking through 3 years from now, where people going to want to store this. And so all of this stuff is showing up as files within your Drive. So it's actually pretty cool. And then you, just like, you share a document, you turn on sharing, and it's either in your organization with person, so it's very cool how they're doing it. I know. Yeah, it's great. Okay.
So I'll
share my screen. I've got everything set up to do the prompt, the structured prompt enhancer, if you want me to do that.
Well, just wait. I want to show folks how they could sort of like follow along. I know you've got the prompt enhancer, so we're going to do that. But I want to show folks, you're the worst. Take it, because I know you didn't run this unless Dan told you to.
What?
Taking a page out of our good friend Dan's playbook, remembering that if you're going to create something that you want to be any sort of expert in anything, running a deep research first takes very little extra time, and it always gives you good context.
Yep. Every time.
And so I literally just typed in, I want to build a structured prompt enhancer gem to share with the nonprofit community. I'm thinking some deep research would be helpful. What sort of prompts should I run to create some back-end context? Now, it automatically updated and started doing deep research for me. But I could say, I don't want to do deep research. I just want you to get me multiple prompts to consider. For this case, I'm just going to let it start the research.
Hey, hold on. Before you move on, it didn't do our deep research. I want to just like really quickly. What it did is created a research plan.
Yes.
That's
when
not
I say
a deep research,
it switched into that tool.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, right.
Then it gave
can you just click and show people where to find that tool if they don't know already? Click right there.
Literally
if you have not clicked on the toolbar, that is one of the biggest cheat codes, is right here. Go spend a minute learning each one of these things. Try each one of them out. Deep research is great. If you have Ultra, like I do, you're seeing one new thing on there.
All right, show us. I want to see it while this is going.
Yeah. Okay. So that's going to go in there.
Because Tim, being the big bad admin that he is, won't turn on Ultra for me. But I know another admin at the human staff, and I'm going to see if she will give me access without Tim's permission.
Oh, I am definitely sure that Jenny's going to do that for you at $200 a month.
Look, I bet I could convince her for 1 month.
Okay, sure. When was the last time before this morning that you logged into the Human Stack worksite on Gemini? You know, like number
Like
of
a day
months.
ago?
Oh, no way. No.
No, I
Nick.
use the Human Stack as much as I can.
All right, cool, good. All right, then I take it back. I take it all back.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of it. I'll take back like 5% of it.
Whatever, just
Let's
go.
Just be clear. Okay, all right. So this is Deep Think right here. It is a little bit different than Deep
Research.
Deep
Think is what he's saying is only available if you have that super fancy Ultra.
Yeah, if you got super fancy Ultra,
which apparently is $200 a month.
By the way, I am now going to always think super fancy Ultra. Every time I see Ultra, I'm going to add super fancy to the front of it.
You're the worst.
Okay, and so this is let me make the type a little bit smaller. Okay, this is Deep Think, and what this is it's interesting. It's like the highest reasoning model, but not quite deep research. So, and what I'm doing right here is I'm going to give it a prompt to look at this prompt that I've created in a gem that we're going to share, which is the structured prompt enhancer, right? So what it does is that it takes like garbage prompts from me that's like, go do this thing without any structure to it, you know, and it will convert that into, okay, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to add this persona. I'm going to add this task. So persona, task, context, and format. And I've been doing this training with Beth Cantor with Project Evident about this. And so there, I want to just say there are different ways of doing structured prompts. So this is the middle ground. Dan Kershaw introduced me to a group that the AI Build Lab. They've got something called Gigawatt, which if you buy their program, you can get access to it. And it is like structured prompt enhancer times 100. It is so intense. It gives you this XML layout of all of this, and it is amazing what it does.
I've learned more about prompting from those sorts of things than doing prompts myself.
Absolutely. It is.
Which is, I think, like an unsung hero, which we should probably talk about here as we're going to give this gem away.
Yeah.
Is that what folks don't realize is you learn so much by seeing what you would have prompted versus what this prompts for you, right? So like, I'm like, oh, I want to do this thing. And like the XML, for example, which is just a form of code, you can see it pretty easily. It's just a way that like the computers read it better. It like says like, here's your system instructions. Here's your context. Here's this thing. Like it shows you, I'm like, oh, so if I really want this, like, and we've said this episodes back, like simple prompt, simple output.
Yep.
And this just helps you make that enhancement to your prompt in a way that like, you don't need to know all the things. Because I continue to agree with you, Tim. Like, I think the actual prompting piece is like not going to be as big in the future.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I just did a talk in New York about this, and I said, here are, you know, there are ways to make AI smarter, and then there are ways to be smarter with AI. And you need to think, you know, one's tech stack, one's human stack. Prompting, if it were going to go anywhere, prompting would be on the human stack side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But because we're so bad at it, they're going to start building in all of this structured prompt enhancement at the front end so that humans don't have to think about it. Like in 2 years, that's just where it'll be. So I'm not spending a lot of time telling people how to do structured prompts. What I am saying is grab this kind of a gem, throw a garbage prompt in there. I should say simple prompt, but throw a simple prompt in there, get a structured prompt out and use that. I know I think if people saw how I prompted, like you would be shocked, but it is literally things like, I hate that, redo it. Like I am like, you've seen what I do. It is not.
Can you zoom out just a little bit?
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm just going to have you go over a little bit, like scroll. Yeah. Can you expand that? I know you kind of said it, but it was zoomed in.
Yep.
It'd be nice
okay.
To see
so what more. I did is I've got a gem here called the structured prompt enhancer. You can see a bunch of my other gems. By the way, I can tell you how to make your clone. I'm calling it the Timinator. It's a really
he calls everything the Inator, and then Dan does Minion.
Yeah, right.
I tried to find a version of that for me, and I've yet to find one that I like. So right now,
yeah, you know what? It was such a great, and I've also renamed my my prompt engineer the Doofenshmirtz because Doofenshmirtz can just create anything. He's like the smartest.
Can we name this one the HumanSnet? Like I'm gonna come up with some punny like Doofenshmirtz version, please.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is what I've got. I've got a structured prompt enhancer gem, and this is, these are the instructions from it. But I want to dress these up a little bit, and so that's what I'm working on right now. Is this structured prompt enhance review. It is refining the content, so you can just kind of go see how DeepThink is deep thinking this through. What I like about this is that I don't always need a deep research report. Sometimes I just need deep research thinking, and deep think is that it's the reasoning that goes into deep research, but without all of the 300 plus sources and 30 minutes of runtime. And so that's what deep think is. I'm really liking it, and it's also, it makes sense because there's only 2 models here. There's only 2 tiers. There's Flash, there's Pro. In every other version, there is a third one, right? So there's Pro in ChatGPT 5. There's Opus in Claude. I feel like DeepThink is just kind of another tier that really should probably be up here. Pro isn't as pro as it should be. So it should be like 2.5 Pro and 2.5 DeepThink is kind of what I'm thinking about it. But
while yours is thinking, I stole the screen here really quick because I wanted to understand, like, DeepThink is newer to me, everybody. Like, this is the first time I'm actually seeing it in person too, for what that's worth. But I am trying to figure out why, like, what's the difference? Because as you can see, when I asked explain Gemini, I don't have DeepThink, right? Like, it still does the thinking piece. So I was trying to see, like, how can I show the difference between, it's already like a thinking and reasoning model inherent in the system. This is a higher version. What this is, it's basically saying what you had mentioned, Tim. So I'm not trying to mansplain this. Which we had a whole argument about last week, if anybody's wondering.
I just didn't know what it was. I just had no idea what it was. I just wanted you to tell me about it.
But the way Tim explained it, actually, like, he was explaining it while I was reading this, they seem very, like, he absolutely has exactly what it's meant to be here. And I'm happy to put this I'll put it in the LinkedIn chat, if nothing else. So this little piece is here, but this is one that, like, I still struggle to kind of wrap my head around because of the fact that, like, there's thinking models and then deep thinking models and then deep research. Like, it's okay if this is like, what the hell are we looking at? Because there's so much here, because I'm feeling the same way. And I teach this stuff to you guys every week. So don't forget, we're just learning. Okay. So Tim's thinking model, stopped thinking. It gave us an output here.
Okay. I'm asking it to go through and create a table comparing the two. While it's doing that, let's just go in here and grab it and just put it in.
Perfect.
All right. It is definitely longer. I love that it says no text, explanation, preamble are allowed outside the template structure. Yes, that makes me super happy. All right. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to explore gems. We're going to go down to the structured prompt enhancer. And we're going to remake it.
Why don't you make a new one? So then we can go one versus the other, see what they would output.
Okay, that's probably a good idea. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed with that because I don't want to have 2 versions, but it's actually a good idea. Okay, so
call us Sami Smirts. That's funny. I'm funny.
Nope, this is structured. This is the prompts.
I'll change it for everybody. Don't worry. I know everybody wants a Sami Smirts.
No, they don't.
That's terrifying, actually.
Okay, this is the structured prompt enhancer. There we go. That is what it should have been the entire time.
For the beauty that is Dan Kershaw. Look at this comment that he gave us.
Oh, what do you say?
Deep Think focuses on internal reasoning, working with existing knowledge to generate insights, solve problems, and create new ideas. Deep research involves external information retrieval using tools to gather fresh facts and data from external sources before synthesizing them into a report. So he says, Deep think collides and creates. Deep research, gather, sort, and summarize. Of course, Dan knows exactly how to explain that perfectly for us.
Absolutely. Yep. Okay, if I were going to go the extra mile with this, what I would do is I would go to deep research and I would ask it to find every structured prompt format that's out there. And it would find all of the stuff that, we've learned in the AI build lab. So things like, think, scratch pad answer, chain of thought, emotional reasoning, like all of those different techniques would get pulled into a document. And then I would shift the structured prompt enhancer to say, identify what level and which version of structured prompt would work best in this situation. Give it the least amount of requirements for the highest amount of output based on the necessity of it, and create the instructions to be a router to go and find the right idea inside of a knowledge article that I would put in there. I'm not going to do that on this one because I like the simplicity of the structured prompt enhancer, and it's just going to always give you a persona, task, context, format version. That is for 80% of what people need from a structured prompt is going to be right here. Jason Harding from Conveyance has said that just this has changed his life when it comes to just developing prompts for his organization. And he's doing high-tech stuff with Azure all over, the consulting that firm that he works with. And so, it's actually very adequate for what it does. So, all right, let's give this a simple prompt here, right? Now, nothing's coming to mind on what a good prompt would be, but I need to write an email every week about AI and culture for nonprofits. Okay, great. That's all I'm going to give it.
While that's thinking, Karen put a comment that I'd love to just really quickly cover, and we can cover in a deeper episode. She put, why would someone use Gemini versus Copilot in an organization? And the answer is whichever one they've been using first. If they're already using Google Workspace, they're going to be using Gemini. Like, it is not worth, either of them are not worth switching to the other just for their AI tool, from my understanding.
It is worth having both, is what I would say here.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, and I'm gonna say, like, please don't hate me for this, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I have found when I've talked with people and have tried Copilot myself, if you're working within an app, if you're working within, Outlook, then Copilot is really helpful. But if you're trying to do this kind of work with it, people have been fairly frustrated kind of universally with its performance and especially with its agents. So
but I will say folks need to look at if their organization prohibits the use of Google Drive, that means that follows under the same parameters of Gemini unless they strictly say otherwise.
Correct.
So if you're not allowed to because you're in Microsoft, you have to stay in Microsoft. Like that's the answer.
Right.
I just want to make that clear so people aren't like, oh, I'm going to start playing in Gemini.
Yes. Sorry. I'm thinking about leadership decisions on which tech to choose, not staff decisions on what's available.
Tech to use.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly. So we never want to empower where there's not permission to use tools ever.
Correct.
So thank you for saying that. Good catch.
Feel free to advocate though.
Yeah.
We're happy to be the resources behind the advocacy. Absolutely. Yep. Just don't break your policies.
Okay, so this is the structured prompt that it gave for this. You can see that it's broken out. Here's the persona, task. This is the context, and this is the format. And so I'm going to copy that into I'm just going to copy this into a new chat. I'm going to say this week's topic is gem sharing and why it matters. Okay. And then I'm just going to add that prompt that I put in there. And we'll see if it spits out a decent email. That's the idea.
Yeah.
So developing the newsletter structure is promising so far. Demystifying AI, make it directly profitable, applicable to nonprofit work. Again, okay, wait. Okay. Let's look at this.
Huh.
Very suspicious that this is just made up.
Is it just made up?
I don't know. I'm just suspicious of it because I'm suspicious of this kind of stuff. But
okay, so how would you double check this? Would you search it? Would you ask it to verify
absolutely,
claims?
yeah. No, I would go, and
let's walk people through that quick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great idea. Just what I also really like about this is in a canvas, so I can actually say, like, let's just do it right here.
Which canvas is in that same spot where you find deep research, deep thinking, if you have ultra fancy people. And it is basically just an editable and like interactive place. And so you'll see writing there, but that's where also like a lot of my vibe coding episodes are done in Canvas. It can do all sorts of things. It's just a way to like edit as you go instead of needing to rewrite the whole thing.
It is, yeah, that's a great way of saying it. And it will either write in human or write in code. And if it writes in human code, it will also give you this other stuff. So I clicked on this button right here, suggest edits. And so it's come in and it is recommending these things right here. Let's just click apply on this one. It won't let me or something. What? Okay. Anyway. All right. We'll just do apply all. I don't, like whatever. This is really helpful when you want to actually just change a couple of words. Canvas is basically, it allows you to be collaborative with AI inside of a document.
Yeah, this like Tim could start typing too, and it would, if it's not redoing it, which if you look up in that left-hand corner where the little news, can you show where it was showing the refresh
right button? Here, it was just like spinning.
And if he were to have exited out of the canvas or have his screen big enough that it would show both the chat and the canvas, you would see that it's working on the left-hand side in the chat. I just want everybody to know, like, so you see that little spinner up there. That's how you know if you're only looking at the canvas that it's working, like it's going in there and doing stuff. But Tim, can you hit the X button really quick? I want to show people how they can see in their chat.
Yep.
Scroll all the way down. It's showing him right there. If you scroll up just a little bit, where it's saying like, okay, when it starts to type, like it still responds in the chat that it's moving, basically. So it does tell you.
I selected in there. I was just saying, okay, I want to know if this is true or not. So I went in and selected and just said, verify that this is true right here. And so if you click out, you can see where I say, verify if this is true. And so then it dives in and it is actually like, here is a link to the GitHub repository that just opened another window. So I think that is absolutely true. And I think that
I will say Gemini is the least hallucinating tool I've used.
Yeah. It doesn't hallucinate on facts, but it does hallucinate on emotions.
Yes,
it does not know. It does not know how to do emotions very well.
No, not at all.
Use a different example for this. Okay, I'm just going to click on that. Use a different example. Another thing I can do on that, I could change this to now it's spinning. Once it's spinning, then you can't play with it. But
yes,
this other button. So there are 3 buttons here. This button increases or decreases the length. This button, now they're like, so I can make this very short. I can make this very long. For emails or blog posts is pretty handy. Like, okay, let's make this longer. So now it's just going to redo the length of the total article. And then the other button changes the tone. So you can go all the way from, professor down to elementary school, I think is the other one.
Yeah.
To allow you to just kind of pick a different reading level. Although now that I'm thinking about that is the language that's in OpenAI or ChatGPT. So the tone here is very casual up to very formal. Okay, great. So yeah, and I think that it just starts like in normal mode. So now this is longer. Yeah, I feel like
amazing.
Yeah, it is like this is what it's really helpful for. I just put one simple thing in and then this is what it put out. What was that about?
So then we have to end this episode. So
okay,
we will make sure this is
but we need to share the gem. Okay, wait, hold on. So let's go share this gem. Yes. So if we go into
go ahead and do that.
Structured prompt enhancer, you click on share. This is the beauty.
This is just where you are creating a
file.
Gems.
Yep. It's creating a file. I can now share it with my company. I can keep it with just myself, or I can share it with anyone with the link. I'm very happy to share this with everybody here. So I'm going to copy that link. And that's done. And then I'm going to
put it in the chat and I can make it a QR code.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to do that. It is there in the chat, structured prompt enhancinator.
Sorry, Fred. Today's episode went a little long, but it's because we were talking about McGriddles.
Yes.
I can confirm, even a little chili, still pretty good.
Okay, good.
Which chat did you put it in? Oh, that one? Okay,
I put it in that one. And then, but we can add it as a QR code too. So
I'm going to right now.
Oh, you are? Okay, good. Great. So that is how you create and share a gem. Gems are basically little templates that allow you to combine instructions and files so that people can get a replicable, it's like a template. So you can get the same kind of output every time. Yep. If you use it, please let us know that it was helpful, or if it wasn't, please let us know that too. We always are curious either way about that. And yeah, thanks so much for sticking around for longer. And Sami,
really quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
Before I go.
Yeah.
One, while we're chatting, don't forget Upskillerators after this. We'll put that QR code up here in just a second. If anybody wants to join us, we do just a little bit heightened. We actually get in and kind of play. Hey, I'm sharing my screen. Don't take that away.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I can see that you did it, but
okay. I'll add it back in.
Okay, so I was messing around with what you'd said about the find every structure prompt enhancement, yada yada.
Oh, cool.
What I didn't see was, and of course now it's not gonna show up, which is just infuriating. Okay, this little button, I've never seen this. Not that one. God dang it. You guys, it was just here. Did it switch? I'll have to find it for next week because I hit this button and then it said these didn't show up like this. They showed up like something else 5 seconds ago. And it was
sure they did, Sami.
You're annoying.
None of us believe you.
This is the worst. I'm so upset because now I'm I don't even know if I could find it again. And that's just driving me absolutely bonkers. But maybe it's just because it was small. Anyway, this is the worst way to end it. I'm so sorry. Don't look for the Upskillerator after this though, because I make a lot more fun of Tim than I was in this episode.
It is true.
What are we learning about today, Tim?
Sorry, what?
What are we learning about in the Upskillerator today? That's Tim's show. AI4AnyoneLIVE is on me. Tim's got to figure out what he's teaching everybody else.
No, we're going to dive deeper into the sharing world of both, what does it mean? What are the implications of sharing? Because that is what's holding a lot of this kind of work back. And the more we can start thinking about what does it look like to be collaborative in this work, the better it'll be, right? We're living in the world where it's kind of pre Google Docs, where you had to just create one version of everything. And we're entering now the version or the era where you can share some finished work, and that is going to create a high level of collaboration we haven't seen until now.
I love it. Well,
all right.
I am going to send us off. So thanks everybody for joining, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.